everyone, I'm Wallissimo, and it is the Valentine's season. I have written my Valentine's Day cards and I'm gonna get ready to send those off, but I thought another little Valentine's Day related activity I could do is start a thematically appropriate chocolate short story. The story that I'm going to attempt to write during the next week is called A Bittersweet Romance, and it is a dark chocolate with raspberry filling. And I am super looking forward to this one because dark chocolate and raspberry is basically my favorite kind of chocolate combination. But I do think I want to fully dive into the aesthetic of the season as I write this story. I'm hoping that'll help me stay on track and not avoid as I tend to do. So before I open this up, I'm gonna set up a little space for myself. The prompt for this story is, this is the story of two strangers with just a street between them. Together, they would come to discover a love far closer to home than they could ever have imagined. That is so good. I will definitely be eating this entire chocolate bar over the course of the week. Oh my gosh. It's been a couple days since I've checked in. I've sent off my Valentines. I have received some Valentines from family. I've taken a few days to kind of let the prompt stew in my mind, and I'm gonna now settle down and attempt to write a short story. But here are my thoughts. Okay, this is called A Bittersweet Romance. I actually have something I wrote back in 2020 that I might want to take pieces from, a lot of pieces or a few pieces, I don't know yet, and rework into A Bittersweet Romance. So I'm hoping that this will go faster than my normal chocolate short stories go, because I already really have the bones for this set, and it's, well, don't read too much into this, but it is from the perspective of a girl looking back over a relationship and just kind of considering it. And even though it's Valentine's Day, which makes me want to write something really sweet and romantic and happy, the title is A Bittersweet Romance. And I found it was just very interesting from the perspective of the prompt, because the prompt makes it seem like it's very romantic, but the title is A Bittersweet Romance. But maybe this was something that during the romance itself was very romantic and wonderful and lovely, but just ended up not working out, and we're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who's looking back on this relationship and those feelings of bittersweetness, because even though it was great while it was happening, it is over now, and there are all sorts of feelings that accompany that. So it's a little bit depressing, but maybe that's appropriate for Valentine's Day, right? It's kind of one of those holidays where it can really be both. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if you can see. I have my little setup. I'm gonna go and find that old piece of work and copy it into a new Scrivener file and rework pieces from it, or decide I don't want any of it. We'll figure it out, but I'll check back in. Also, it's the Thursday before Valentine's Day, so we are on just a little bit of a tight schedule here. So I don't want to vlog too much, because the more I vlog, the more I have to edit, and the more I have to edit, the less likely the vlog goes up at all. So pray for me, folks. I wrote that actually fairly quickly. Again, though, it's because it's borrowed from older things that I've worked on in the past. It is currently in Google Docs. Katie is currently editing it for me. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what she says. It's a little bit, I don't know if it's like a coherent voice or whatever, but I was really trying to imbue a sense of nostalgia and sadness, but also intense anxiety into the story, which, you know, is it a Wallissimo piece if there's not intense anxiety? I feel like it's my hallmark a little bit. But yeah, I think it's kind of sad. I don't know what I think. We're gonna wait to see what Katie thinks, and then whatever she thinks is what I will think. That's a really healthy way of approaching it, right? I'm just gonna sit here and watch her little red circle make comments. Hi, it is Sunday the 13th. My sister has sent me some treats for Valentine's Day, so I'm gonna make myself up a plate and kind of talk about where I am with the story. We have some macaroons and we have some chocolate strawberries. Actually, not some, we have a lot of chocolate strawberries. Okay, so Katie has gone over the whole story and kind of given her edits and everything, and it's basically done. But I am also waffling on the final line. The final line is meant to be kind of a punch. The story starts with the line, "There's this little fear that I have," and the final couplet of lines, really. Sorry if you hear weird buzzing, there's a boat going off in the background. The final couplet of the story, the final two lines, are meant to tie back into that fear and be kind of a final punch. This could be like so stupid and such a waste of time, but I'm really going back and forth on, ooh, this one looks good. I'm really going back and forth on like the phrasing for how I want this final line to be. Because I think that there are some ways to phrase it where it just doesn't punch quite as hard. Yeah, how many treats is too many treats? Am I gonna make myself sick? Okay, I just got done watching a Valentine's Day stream over on Diane Marie's channel. I was like participating in the stream to start, but my internet was awful, which, as I'm saying it out loud, does not bode well for the upload of this video. So once again, thoughts and prayers. I have been working on phrasing of that final line, and I think I figured it out. Also, this beautiful plate of treats, I made it for myself and then I didn't eat it, which makes me so sad. So I'm gonna nibble on it right now. Oh, that is a very intense flavor. I'm not mad at it though. Anyway, like I said, I've made one or two adjustments, and here we go. We're gonna read it aloud. Once again though, I would like to say, if you remember the prompt and the story, they are ships in the night. But again, I reiterate that the prompt and the title did not match up whatsoever, and I went off the title rather than the prompt. Should I have probably put more weight into the prompt? Yes, but I didn't. All right, a bittersweet romance. There's this little fear that I have looking back on it all. She was a bitch, you say with a laugh, talking about your ex. It's our first date, and I don't let that red flag slide as we walk down a street in Denver. I call you out in the whipping Chinook wind. We've been neighbors for 3 years now, friends for 2. You're used to my call-outs. You take them with good humor. But the word you used is sticky in my head. When you invited me out, I was all excitement and fear. You're the first person who's ever asked. But I've heard you call 3 exes bitches now. I don't want to be on that list someday. We have to preserve our friendship, I insist. I will always want your friendship in my life, you assure me, and I believe you. So I watch from my window as you draw hearts in the January snow across the street. I watch you smile in a Perkins at midnight, eat pie on March 14th, jump my car, make me laugh, care about your friends, tell adventure stories with dice in your hands. Sing to me softly in the quiet summertime darkness. Solve problems with me. Your endless patience with my endless rules. Long autumn drives with a 1988 coin telling us to turn left or right. But we were on different edges. You said you would follow me anywhere. I needed to know you had goals outside of us. I've always been a long-term planner. I've always wanted to prepare for the worst outcome. I'm Nostradamus in that kind of way. 15 months after our windy first, we kissed goodbye in a bus station. My tears are bitter and sweet, but if it has to happen, this is how I wanted. No burnt bridges, just bad timing. Friendship preserved. That's what I tell myself in order to let go of your hand. But being just friends is shaky, even though we did it perfectly 3 years ago. Old feelings rise and fall during our phone calls. A year passes after that last kiss and you're still hurting. Hearing my voice sharpens the knife's edge for you. I suggest a temporary break. You adamantly refuse. So we email instead. We can make it work, you promise. Except you respond now at a slower and slower pace. We've journeyed from friends to partners to occasional pen pals. But every time I see your name in my inbox, I smile. And then I wonder if I'll hear from you again in a month or two, or if these will be the last words you ever write to me. These emails are the death rattles of our mythical post-breakup friendship. And when we sit in different cities and chat with new friends, going over where our past relationships went wrong, that little fear wiggles its way into my head. I say I didn't deserve you, you laugh and say, she was a bitch. There it is. I don't know. Does it punch at the end? It's meant to be a little bit circular. It was very interesting going back and exploring a piece that I'd written 2 years before and reworking it to fit or not fit the prompt. I think I mentioned that they lived across the street from each other and that's about it. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. I really enjoyed reworking an old piece, revisiting that. I enjoyed attempting to work in layers in this story. You know, initially there's the, oh, this is just a genuine, like, nostalgic reflection. And then, oh, wait, no, but it's actually that, oh, the narrator is sad that the ex-partner has stopped responding and has thrown away this friendship that was promised. But in reality, that like final deeper layer, but the layer I was trying to go for, the bottom layer, in my interpretation at least, is that it's really the narrator doing all of this to herself, all of these fears that she creates both in the relationship and post-relationship that are kind of haunting her. This story isn't meant to imply that the ex-partner is actually out there calling her bad names to strangers. It's meant to imply that that's just like, that's her fear that she has, that he's doing it because to her, that is kind of an invalidation of all those moments of happiness that they had together. And kind of tying into that, talking about my favorite line from the story is, my favorite set of lines, I guess, from the story are, I've always been a long-term planner. I've always wanted to prepare for the worst outcome. I'm Nostradamus in that kind of way. And I think that final line, or like the Nostradamus line, is my like ultimate thesis of the story itself. To be pretentious about it, in referencing Nostradamus, not trying to say that she's so good at predicting the bad future and that she saw it coming from a mile away. It's that she created it herself. She created the bad outcomes herself through her own fear. And if she'd maybe had a little bit more faith, maybe they wouldn't have happened that way. Then again, ties back to the ending where she's letting this fear that he's out there invalidating their relationship, that is coloring her perception of their post-breakup. I don't know, is that too woo-woo and circular? Maybe, but that's the vibe I was going for. I theoretically will be making an Instagram post where you can go and read the story. It might also be down in the description as well. That is a bittersweet romance. This is a chocolate-covered strawberry that I'm going to eat now. And I hope you have a fabulous Valentine's Day. I have no idea when the next chocolate short story will go up. Maybe I've got one for St. Patrick's. We'll see. Bye. I really love chocolate covered strawberries.